Hey guys, what up? It's iDestiny. Welcome back, and this is the LA Lifestyle on a budget, giving you skincare, thriftwear, music, good vibes, all that good stuff. But today in particular, we are reviewing two items from Liberex. We have the facial skin scrubber as well as the egg vibrating facial brush. So these are two items that were sent to me by Liberex. This is not a paid or sponsored video or anything like that. They just sent me these and wanted to see what I thought of them. So we're reviewing them today on this channel. I've been trying out both of these items. I want to say probably the facial brush for probably the last like 3-ish weeks, and the facial scrubber for maybe the past like week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So I've kind of had a little bit of time to kind of get used to using both of these products. So I'm going to go over some specs on these, and then we're going to jump into what I thought of each item. The facial skin scrubber has 4 different modes. So this is the cleaning, ion, positive, ion negative, and lifting, and each of these modes has 3 levels. So I'm assuming that means like 3 different speeds or levels of intensity. And kind of the main purpose of this product is to deep clean the skin and to help your products like, you know, serums and stuff like that to be able to absorb a little bit better. So I was reading kind of the reviews on this on their website, and there were people that were talking about how their esthetician uses something similar to this, you know, obviously on a more intense scale, but how this is kind of like helps them maintain their skin in the meantime. This one is $49.95, so a little bit pricey, but let's just jump into the review so I can tell you kind of like my thoughts on it. Initially, when I got this, I wasn't excited about this just because I am not a huge fan of using almost like esthetician quality type items personally in your home unless you really know what you're doing. When items like this kind of go on the market for just any consumer to buy, I'm always a little bit worried just because, you know, everybody wants to see results overnight, and so sometimes people can kind of go in a little bit too harsh with products like this and just go overboard and end up ruining their skin. So I definitely will say when I got this product, I looked at the instructions and immediately was like, oh no. So the instructions for this are not great. I feel like the descriptions could have been a little bit better. I feel like the photos could have been a little bit better. It's definitely helpful to go on their website when looking at this product because you can kind of see videos of how to use it. But even still, I feel like, you know, for those that maybe get this as a gift, maybe for like the holidays coming up or whatever, that it definitely would be beneficial to have a little bit more substantial or a little bit more of a detailed description of this product, the different modes, what each mode does. It kind of does a little bit, but it's kind of like a very small chart, and it doesn't really go into detail the way that I feel like it needs to for a consumer who's never used something like this before. On a positive note, even though I was very nervous to try this at first, I ended up really liking it, and it did give me results. So I noticed afterwards my face was a lot smoother. I would notice, you know, the next morning, because oftentimes I would use this at night. In the morning, my skin would be a lot smoother, my products would absorb easier, and my makeup went on a lot smoother. So definitely is a product that works. Now, if you're somebody with sensitive skin or you've never used something like this before, definitely start with level 1. Maybe your first week, see how it goes, and then kind of work your way up, because my skin was a little sensitive after using this, and I don't even have sensitive skin. And your skin definitely does feel a little bit raw after using it, and you will see a little bit of redness after using it. So definitely be aware of that when using it, and then as you use it a couple times a week and your skin seems to be doing okay, maybe try like level 2 intensity. Also in the instructions it says to use, it mentions different types of like serums or toners that you could use for like the different modes, which is awesome. Don't use your super expensive stuff, because that's what I initially did. I was like, oh, well, it's supposed to help it absorb or whatever. So I used my really expensive, K skincare serums and was just kind of going in. And then after I did that, I looked at the instructions and it said to rinse your face. And I was like, but I just used my expensive serum. So what I started to do was just kind of use my, my kind of lower budget serums and toners to kind of do the first pass on my face, first and second pass. Then after I rinse, then I would put on my good products to kind of help absorb those into my skin. So love that. Now, this thing, it's kind of hard to describe what the ion positive and ion negative things does. I feel like the website needed a little bit more of a detailed description on that for me to understand what this product is actually doing, but it feels like it's vibrating at a very, very, very high speed. Let me just turn it on. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It sounds like an electric razor. So when you're passing over your face, definitely make sure that you're, consistently moving at a nice and even pace the whole way, because when you stop, it does feel a little uncomfortable, almost like it's slightly burning your skin or stinging your skin a little bit. So definitely move. And one thing that I noticed that helped as well was to keep in mind, sorry, let me turn this off. One thing that helped me as well is, you know, I'm a huge advocate and fan of the gua sha stone, which if you guys want to see my review about that, I'll link that above here. But the gua sha stone kind of helps to lift the skin, and it has the similar motion and direction of movement as when you use this. So, you know, kind of angle it slightly and then kind of smooth quickly across your skin, going in like in an upward motion, you know, nose to forehead, and then, you know, cheek to, you know, your hairline, kind of that same motion. So that was definitely helpful. So I really liked this. I feel like the price is actually pretty fair for this, but definitely be aware that you might want to see some reviews prior to buying this, as well as the video that they have on their website to figure out how to use this properly. All right. The next item is the Egg Vibrating Facial Brush. I kind of had a hate-love relationship with facial brushes for, I want to say, like, most of my YouTube career. I feel like we kind of saw a huge fad of this, like I want to say like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, where all these companies were coming out with facial brushes and they had, you know, spinning heads and interchangeable heads and that sort of thing. So I feel like this kind of wave is coming back, but like maybe slightly more practical. But my main thing was, I mean, I was really concerned about bacteria and reusing the same brushes over and over again and not being able to sanitize them properly. So I'm like, okay. So when they sent me this, I was kind of like, okay, we'll give it a go. We'll see how it works. This is not a spinning brush at all. It just vibrates. And this one has 3 speed levels as well. And it also kind of has like a automatic timer where if you've been sitting in an area of your face for a prolonged time, it will kind of shut down a little bit until you move and kind of keep going. So that's kind of cool. That way you know like how much time you're spending on each area of your face. This comes with 3 different heads. So you have the silicone one, you have the really soft, gentle bristles, and then you have, I guess, kind of the regular one. And this one also helps a little bit with exfoliation. So I ended up really liking this one. The only thing is for me, I try to be as sustainable as possible and I try to be as hygienic as possible. So I can always wash my hands and then wash my face. But when you have brushes like this, it's like you really have to make sure that you're sanitizing them really, really well. I just never feel like they're clean enough, and it's not really sustainable to keep buying and buying and buying these and replacing them. The backs of these are plastic, and it's just kind of like, okay, this is a little bit more wasteful. I mean, even though the base you even though the base you continue to use, the heads, it's like you just kind of keep throwing them away. So I feel like the best option is the silicone one, honestly, and I feel like this one is easier to kind of clean. You know, it's a little bit more sustainable. I feel like it'll last longer than these other kind of like softy bristle head bristle heads that attach to this. The silicone one, it's nice because you have this, where is it? The little egg lid that has holes in it, so that way when you put it on your counter, it's supposed to dry. The silicone one I found dried pretty much immediately overnight. These other brushes, I felt like they were still damp in the morning, or if I waited 24 hours, they were still damp. And then it's like, okay, what's really the purpose of me using these bristles if it's going to be not dry or possibly still dirty or possibly growing bacteria? But other than that, I found that this actually worked really, really well. I found that out of all of these, this one and the silicone one were my favorite. The silicone probably most of all, just because with it being summer, the times when I did have on makeup and sunscreen and all this other crap, this actually was really great at getting in my pores and really getting that sunscreen and junk out, especially if you're a person who does oil cleansing and then jumps in with your regular facial cleanser. Also love the fact that the battery life on this is actually pretty great. I think I've gone like a good 2 weeks. I usually only use this at night to wash my face to kind of get that deep, deep clean going. So, you know, with that being said, with me using it every night, for probably about 2 weeks, my battery is still good and going. No problems there. This product is $38.99, so definitely a good price in comparison to some other facial brushes that I've seen on the market, especially if you go to Sephora. You know they have some really, really expensive ones. But then again, I will say that those ones do seem a little bit more sustainable and a little bit more sanitary and easy to clean, so that's definitely helpful. This comes with a wireless charging base, which I thought was really cool. Well, I mean, you have this wire to plug into the USB, and then this just kind of sits on it, which is cool. If this thing tilts in any way, it does make a really weird sound, so you'll know, like, okay, my stuff is not charging, like something's happened, maybe my cat knocked it over, whatever. So definitely make sure it's like into the base fully. Then the facial scrubber has the same kind of like almost micro USB charger. These are 2 different sizes. I can't remember what the difference is between these, but they're both pretty small, but definitely different sizes. And you will need a USB block, which is kind of annoying. I'd be willing to pay like another $1 or $2 just to get one to go along with my kit. So overall, what's my review? Overall, I feel like these are both really, really great products. I feel like they actually did work. I feel like for the price point, you do get the results that you are expecting from something at that price point. But I will say with the brush head, I just don't feel like it's sustainable. I do like the silicone option because I feel like it's a little bit more sanitary. But I saw their website, they do have a version of this that has like a base with like some kind of UV sanitation, whatever. So maybe try for that. It is a little bit more expensive, but they do have that option if you're somebody who's just like really about keeping your stuff germ-free. The skin scraper ended up being super dope. I'm actually really happy with that. You use it maybe 2-3 times a week to kind of maintain your skin a little bit. But overall, I would say, good job, Liberex. Hopefully you guys can try to get these when they have them on sale or something. I think I've seen them on Amazon, or you can get them on their website as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. Check the links in my description if you guys want to check out these products, and like this video if you want to see more. I'll be posting more. As usual, make sure to do well and be well, and I'll see you later. Bye.